I'd like to welcome everyone to our third Healthy Happy Hour. We're looking at really coming together as a team and sharing what's on our heart and a little bit about who we are. We are the embodiment of a new way of life. OPTAVIA really is a different way to live, a different way to think. And we represent the ability for people to really transform. And the idea is to not only transform for now, but to make it be lifelong. And the way to do it is by developing healthy habits. And so our moniker or our motto is lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. Who am I? Well, I'm Dr. Larry Rogina. I'm the guy on the left. And at the time I was standing on top of the South Tower about 2 weeks before it fell down. And at that time I was short of breath tying my shoes and I was able to shed a bunch of weight, but really, I had started working out at the Y 5, 6, 7 days a week. I did everything right. I worked with a personal trainer. And in the course of about 6 months, I lost $750, which was my Y membership, and I lost 2 whole pounds. Lo and behold, I was still on all my meds, and I controlled that 1 hour in the gym, but I didn't control the other 23 hours of the day. So I met my coach at a medical conference and she asked me, have you ever spent money on something stupid and had nothing to show for it? And I was like, well, yeah, this week, absolutely. And that night, my daughter called me and said, Daddy, we're afraid you're going to die. And it kind of opened my eyes. So I went back to her booth, talked to her more, left her booth a half a dozen times, looked up who OPTAVIA is. And at the time it was Take Shape for Life. And found out a little bit more. And I said, well, what have I got to lose other than maybe a few pounds that I really don't like, and maybe I'll feel better. So lo and behold, I decided to jump on board. In the course of about 6 months, I got rid of about 75 pounds, closer to 85 pounds. And now I'm hovering at about 70, 75 pounds down. And I've had that off for 14 and a half, going on 15 years. It's really not just about losing weight though. It's about literally becoming better. And when we think of optimal health, it's not just about your body, but it's about your mind and your financial picture. And I'm a firm believer that if literally you're out of balance in any area, if your weight's out of sorts, if you're not eating well, if your sleep isn't where it's supposed to be, if you're not physically active, if you can't relax and you don't feel safe in your home or work environment, then your healthy body is going to suffer. But likewise, if your healthy body suffers, it may spill over into healthy mind. It may affect your relationships, your ability to engage at work, feeling like you're fulfilled in doing what you do each and every day. Having some time to grow spiritually is all part of a healthy mind. And sometimes being involved in your community will really jazz you a little bit, like it does for me. I love to pursue hobbies and have fun. That's why I continue to skydive and throw my butt out of airplanes. So it's really about becoming the person that you want to be. But there's a lot of people out there that are struggling financially. And if they're literally not feeling like they're having freedom and they can't have the money to provide memories and experiences for people that matter, they can't give back to the community, they don't have any future retirement like most Americans, they're not in a really good place. So our goal as OPTAVIANs is to really try to improve our scores, getting them closer to that sweet spot where everything connects at a 10. I don't think I'll ever be at a 10, but boy, I'm shooting for 9s all the way around. So how are we really doing with this healthy body thing? Well, most of the world lives in an area where people are dying from overweight and obesity related disease than they are from hunger and being underweight. And then we've thrown into the equation the pandemic that we now have. And lo and behold, 42% of adults in the US reported gaining an average of 29 pounds in the last 2 years. That's pretty astounding. And the childhood obesity rate between the ages of 2 and 19 is literally double. Not good for our healthy bodies. So when I think about healthy mind, there are so many people in the United States right now that have major issues with depression. And our people with excess weight are 55% more likely to develop depression. And right now, when I look at $225 billion spent on mental health medications, literally, and there being a huge increase since this pandemic started by about a third, we are in trouble with our healthy minds. 1 in 4 Americans have some kind of mental issue, and that's evidenced by 270 million prescriptions that are filled for just antidepressants alone. So why do we talk about healthy mind? Well, people are not working because they're not in the right mind space. They don't feel good about themselves. They don't feel good about life. And many of them have to go into treatment plans that actually make them so that they can't work even. So financially, how are we doing? Well, we know that the number one reason that people have problems in their relationships is finances. And many workers report that their top source of stress is their personal finances at home. So we're in a situation right now in the United States where unemployment, even though they're telling us it's getting better, there's so many places that are trying to get employees and they can't find them. So unemployment is still huge. There's businesses that are closing, and literally nobody has a buffer anymore since the pandemic started. So financially, there's a side of OPTAVIA that talks about creating healthy finances, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So who are we at OPTAVIA? Really, we are one of the fastest growing companies, and Fortune magazine labeled us as #2 in the year 2020. That's pretty good when you think about it. The second fastest growing company in the United States and maybe even the world. This is pretty cool. We've touched over 2 million lives with this company. And it's the brainchild of Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson, who was a critical care physician, one of the first board certified intensivists. And literally he walked away from conventional medicine because he wasn't helping be healthy. He wasn't helping anybody be healthy. Instead, he was redefining the day of their death with millions of dollars worth of technology. So he decided to create a lifestyle that we could all lead ourselves on the path of optimal health. So that's who we are. We've been doing this for about 20 years, and we're really getting good at it. We're partnering with people. We're not telling them what to do. We're literally doing it with them. I want to share somebody with you guys now, and she's going to talk about that partnership piece, and her transformation is just amazing. Laura Clarke, can you go ahead and step up and tell us a little bit about your journey?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Got you.
All
Nice
right. I want to congratulate you all for taking this first step of joining us today and letting you give me a little bit of your time to share my journey with you. I'm just excited about this program and just happy to share it with you. So if you go back a little bit in time, I was a healthy, active young person. I played tennis in high school and college. I played on an adult soccer team just until a few years ago. I've always been an avid gym goer. And then fast forward to 2020, I had suffered a few back injuries that really put me back. It was depressing. I couldn't be active like I wanted to be in the past, where I was, just like pumping it at the gym and eating and, just doing all the kind of things that I was doing very hardcore. I found myself at the beginning of the pandemic, stressed, tired, mentally drained, and really off balance. And then I realized I was a good probably 50 to 70 pounds overweight. My wake up call day was the day that I realized I was the same weight that I was about 14, 15 years ago when I was almost 9 months pregnant with my daughter. And I thought, oh my gosh, that was really just a wow moment for me. I was really in some bad shape and down in the dumps. So about that same time, I was scrolling on social media and I came across a family friend on Facebook that was sharing her amazing transformation. So I reached out to her and said, what is this program you're doing? And she said she was doing OPTAVIA and she was now a certified OPTAVIA coach. And she just wanted to help me transform my health as well. And I was just so excited. I wanted to get all the information. I was like, count me in. I couldn't get any lower than I was. So, I was willing to jump in. And she was just so knowledgeable and really wanted to help me be my best self. So it was just very easy for me to jump in the program. And I started, September 2020. And by Memorial Day of that following year, a mere 8-9 months, I had reached my goal and dropped 70 pounds. And just 1 month into the program, my doctor cut my blood pressure medicine in half. I couldn't believe it. I was amazed. And I really truly believe that one of the main reasons for my success was my coach. She shared her program knowledge, tips, encouragement. We chatted all the time. She was so supportive through my weight loss journey and beyond. And we still frequently talk, and she supports me, as now I am also a new coach and wanted to pay it forward just like she did for me. It's a whole community of coaches in OPTAVIA that just want to do this for each other. And it's just a wonderful thing. I think there's no other program out there like this. Coaches are like instant family. And I believe it's truly a huge part of my success. Because of my OPTAVIA coach, I now have new healthy habits that I practice, new energy. I shed the pounds that were holding me back from my best life. So if you're thinking about starting a health journey, just know that this program, which includes a personal OPTAVIA coach, just to focus on you, it is a program like no other. So thank you for listening to my story. Please reach out to the person that invited you here today and let them know that you are interested and have the same support that I really got from my coach. It's just a wonderful thing. You're not alone when you're in OPTAVIA.
Well, thank you, Laura. Thank you so much for sharing, and really appreciate your information about the importance of having that person who's going to partner with you and walk forward in life. I'd like to introduce another individual, an amazing guy who I've known for greater than 10 years now. David, let's have you share your journey with us and talk about some of the aspects that have impacted you the most.
Sure. So thank you very much, Larry. So I'm David Spigelman, and I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. So back when I first got married, I was thin. Not healthy, but thin. My wife and I had 5 children over the years, and every time we were expecting, I gained weight. You know how it is. So by 2011, I looked like that picture over there on the left. And as I grew, I started noticing some issues. I snored like a freight train, which did not make my wife very happy. And because of all that snoring, I woke up almost every morning with a blinding headache. I always had to take my morning dose of vitamin I, that's ibuprofen. And I always had I had chronic lower back pain, I had knee pain, and my energy was really, really low. Well, one day in 2011, my wife and I looked at each other and decided that we were both going to try to lose some weight. And we had this friend who'd lost about 70 pounds on some program. And my wife, Stacy, who's smarter than me, decided, I'm going to do what she's doing. Me? Well, I didn't need a program. I could figure this stuff out on my own. And so it was that after about 3 months, Stacy was down about a good amount of weight, and I was not. So I definitely needed a change. Now, about that time, our friend, the coach, had told Stacy that she was going to the national convention for the company and invited her to come. And I came along for the weekend. By the time the weekend was over, Stacy had decided she wanted to become a coach, and I decided to become her first client. I went on the program and I started to lose weight. And after several months, I'd lost 65 pounds. Anyway, one morning when I was about 50 pounds down, I woke up and Stacy said to me, you know what? I just realized you don't snore anymore. And she was right. But I also noticed that I wasn't still waking up with headaches. And my back stopped hurting. My knee, well, that still hurt a bit, but not as much. And I had more energy and I started to feel good. But there was something else too. See, I'm a data guy. I love to understand how things work. And this was no different for me. Well, the Habits of Health system is the educational component of this. And it's one of the things that truly makes this stand out. It not only gave me the information I needed to follow the program, it gave me the ability to understand why these things were important and the tools to use beyond just the weight loss phase of the program. Tools that started changing the way I see myself, how I look at life, tools I still draw on 10 years later, and that have helped me continue working on my health. And now with the Life Book, the focus is even more on the mindset. It's on really understanding why this is so important to me and how focusing on my overall health, not just my weight, ties into my why, my reasons for wanting to be healthy in the first place. And then there were the informational videos, which gave me tips and tricks to help me make better decisions and to really help me become a better version of myself. And I'm so much better now than I was. So I learned some biology and I learned some psychology And that was completely different from any other health thing I'd ever tried before. So thanks for being here. And we'd love to have you join our community too.
Thank you, David. Really appreciate your story and your passion for impacting others around you now. So excited to have you as part of the team. I have to bring on this next lady. Her transformation is literally amazing. But Denise is going to talk about something that's really important to her as far as how she got started and where she's going to go with this journey. So Denise, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Larry, and welcome everyone. Welcome to our happy hour. You know, I really was pausing and giving a look back at my time prior to getting started on OPTAVIA. I was a classic garden variety yo-yo dieter. You know, I had the repetition of losing weight, gaining it back, gaining a little more back than I lost, trying something new, and then I would start all over again on that same crazy cycle. But as this continued through the years, I began to notice that I was starting to have more physical pain as every time I would restart to lose and gain weight. But as it progressed, I started to discover it was more than physical pain. I was having a lot of emotional and I was having a lot of mental pain. There was a lot of shame and guilt, embarrassment, low self-esteem. I lacked self-confidence. So many negative things began piling up, just layering into my life as a result of the fact that I was not at a healthy weight. I had been at a healthy weight, but I just couldn't get with the program. So what happened was I had a friend, and it's kind of like I knew a guy, and I noticed that she had had an incredible transformation. But more than that, besides losing the weight and getting healthy, you know, when I saw her on a Facebook picture post, she eluded confidence and she just radiated health and wellness. And this really got my attention. And I looked at that and I thought to myself, I want to live in her world. I want to be a part of her community. So I reached out to her and she got me started on the program. And within a relatively short amount of time, I was able to let go of 73 pounds. And with that came a whole new world for me. I became a part of the OPTAVIA community. And that's what I really love talking about and leaning into. Because if left by myself, I could be very happy just kind of staying in my own little world. But I know that without the support of a community, that's a big missing piece. You know, we are hardwired to be social and to be with people, to connect and to be supportive. And this is one of the most powerful things our community does. You know, when you are part of the OPTAVIA community, I was thinking of it like this today. Have you ever gone for a drive around a neighborhood and you look at a community and you're like, I would like to be there. I would like to be in that community. That's how it is for me and our OPTAVIA community. And I truly believe it can be that way for you as well. You know, we have a private Facebook page that gives us support. Here we are with a healthy happy hour. We have nutrition support that if we have a question on something, we can pick up the phone and dial the toll-free number. We have our newsletter. We have the community of being with other coaches. I'm a coach now also, and that's just one of the most wonderful things as far as being a part of community. You know, there are so many things going on in our lives and world today. And having a community that's going to support my health and get me where I want to be long-term, it's priceless. And that is just one of the 4 amazing components that OPTAVIA brings to us. So as you begin to explore and get curious about our OPTAVIA program, I just like to mention that the community is one of the most amazing parts, but it's just one of 4 parts. And that's what makes it so very special and successful to be a part of OPTAVIA. So Larry, I'm going to turn it back to you, and I encourage all those listening tonight to get more information, find out more from the person who invited you tonight.
Well, thank you so much, Denise. Really appreciate your view about what community has meant to you and how it's impacted your journey. Really, really, really love your passion. Well, I really want to take this to another level here. I have somebody on the line. Her name is Rosa Urena. Rosa came to me looking to make a difference in the life of her daughter. And we had a lengthy discussion. And I'm going to let Rosa tell you a little bit about her story. I think you'll be pretty amazed.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rogina, and thank you all for joining us. Well, my story started on October 2020, while I was on the recovery after a ruptured brain aneurysm, but was trying to find a simple but structured program that could help me help my daughter reach one of her goals. And it was to improve her health so she could be part of the middle school volleyball team. Even though my main motivation to start program was to encourage and support my daughter, as the weeks went by, I realized that it was helping me on areas that I wasn't aware I needed help on, because I changed the way I was fueling my body and I was incorporating healthier habits. My energy levels and my confidence was going up, and I lost 25 pounds that I have kept off for almost a year now. But I still consider my biggest victory the smile on my daughter's face when she shared with me that she made the team and how she had enough energy to run 5 laps around the volleyball court, keeping up with the other girls. At first, I thought that following the program as a family was going to be a challenge because I don't spend too much time in the kitchen. My husband works in maintenance and he doesn't have set times to take lunch or specific breaks. And my daughter was attending middle school. Well, the 4th component of our program made our journey very simple and possible because not only did I lose 25 pounds, but my daughter lost 35 pounds and my husband lost 55 pounds. So what are our fuelings? They are nutritionally balanced meal replacements that have all of the vitamins and minerals that our body needs. And they also have probiotics to support our digestive health. And there is a wide variation of options. If you like breakfast type foods, we have pancakes or cereal. If you like more savory options, there is mashed potatoes or mac and cheese. Or if you prefer sweets, we have bars, shakes, brownies, just to name a few. And if you need options because you have lactose intolerance or you are vegetarian, you need peanut-free or kosher options, they are also available to support you. So how are you going to change your days? Well, you will be fueling your body 6 times per day, and you will be drinking a minimum of 64 ounces of water. You will start with your first fueling within 30 minutes to an hour from waking up, and then you will be eating every 2.5 to 3 hours. One of your meals is going to be what we call a lean and green meal, and this is 5 to 7 ounces of a lean protein with 3 servings of a non-starchy vegetable. And don't worry, because you will receive guidelines to make this simple. And you will see that once you start program, you don't need to add any vitamins or supplements to your days because everything is included in your fuelings. And the neat part is that you're not eating anything artificial to burn the fat for you. Your own body goes into fat burn thanks to the balance of your nutrition. And investment-wise, we are talking about $15 per day. For most of us, it is cost neutral because that is about the same amount that we spend on what we are eating on our normal days. But in some other cases, like it was for my family, we realized that we were actually saving. It is very difficult to find 5 healthy meals for $15 a day these days. And now I am very excited to introduce to all of you one of my good friends. Her name is Shanisa, and she has been following program for a little bit over 6 months, and she has a wonderful transformation. And today she's going to be sharing with all of us a little bit about her story.
Hello, thank you for allowing me to share my story. My name is Shanisa, and my wake-up call was in March of 2021 when I visited my doctor, and she very, very seriously had a conversation with me regarding my overweight, and she said, Shanisa, you are cutting your life in half. You need to do something. She suggested weight loss surgery, which was not something I wanted to do. So while exploring other options, I called Rosa, my health guardian. She came into my life at the time when I needed someone the most. And she introduced me to this wonderful program. My second week into the program, I started noticing changes within myself. My focus was more alert, my energy level was up, and I just felt so much more energetic and so much alive. And not forgetting, I'm seeing the numbers decreasing on the scale, so that motivated me even further to go ahead with this program. My third month of into the program, I went back to my doctor, and boy, was she pleasantly surprised when she saw my transformation, not only in my appearance, but in my blood work results. And she immediately lowered all my medications, my cholesterol, my sugar level medication, everything was lowered, which made me very happy. Yes. But so far in this journey, my biggest victory so far is I'm now able to enjoy and spend time with my grandkids. I'm able to go on long walks with my puppy, which was something I was not able to do without stopping to rest every 2 minutes. I'm able to run up and down the subway stairs with little or no difficulty. And all these are more motivation for me to go further with this program. I am thankful for this program and also thankful to Rosa. She is a great mentor and an awesome coach. And armed with Rosa and my life book, I have no fear that I will be going back to my old bad eating habits. So thank you very much and good night.
Awesome. Shanisa, you really, really, really inspire each and every one of us. And I'm just so honored that you were able to be here and share with us tonight. So thank you for being here. I would like to now take a moment to introduce one of the people that was instrumental in me actually even getting started on this journey. My coach, Whitney, has a coach, and his name is Greg Rex. And Greg has an amazing transformation, and he's going to bring this all together for us here as we begin to close out the evening. So Greg, welcome aboard.
Oh, thanks, Larry. And again, congratulations to everyone for being here. Especially want to thank the speakers that shared from your heart. I'm going to be coming up on my 20-year anniversary on March 5th when I started my journey. And I've been on, as you can imagine, thousands of calls and heard stories, and I never get tired of these amazing stories. And you guys really inspire me, and I actually learn something new every time. One thing I want to say is that I'm having a little deja vu thinking about where I was when my picture here on the left when I'm running and I'm super overweight. That was right after 9/11. And, you know, 9/11 was 20 years ago. And the world was a little bit in chaos. I think you guys can sense that that's a little bit of the feeling we have right now. And to give you an idea of my mindset in this picture, I'm running really hard because I'm sick and tired of being overweight and obese. And I was really concerned about my health because my dad had a heart attack when he was 41. And in that picture there, I was 37. but I was so beat down because I got laid off after 9/11. I had tried exercise. It didn't work. I tried dieting. Like 9 different types of diets I tried. None of them worked. Just like, Denise was saying, I'd lose some weight, I'd gain it back. And I got to the point where I had literally become a victim of my own world. I was like having a midlife crisis. I'm 37 years old, $100,000 in debt, obese, and I feel like my life is out of control. And I was really kind of getting into that victim, poor me. No matter what I do, it doesn't work. And I was about to give up. I actually went into my closet and I gathered up all my skinny clothes. I put them in a big plastic bag and I gave them away to charity because I thought I'm never going to lose this weight. But something happened. I heard a conversation with Dr. Anderson, who's our medical director, and he sparked just a little bit of hope, just enough hope for me to say, you know what? I actually remember saying this to him. I said, Doctor, I just don't think this is going to work for me. I've tried everything. And he goes, well, is that true? Have you tried this program? And I said, no. He goes, well, then you haven't tried everything. And he said, yeah, you're right. And everything he shared made sense. Johns Hopkins studies, the science, the way that they had support built in. It wasn't just a diet. I said, you know what? I'll give it a month. I'll try it. What's the worst, And I jumped on that program, and I got to tell you, within the first week, I knew I had found something special because I had felt so good. I went from eating like 1 big meal a day and exercising like crazy to eating 6 meals, the way Rosa described, or eating 6 small meals. And I felt amazing. My energy was through the roof. The scale was moving. I'm like, I do this. This tastes good. It feels good. And I had this support system behind me for the first time. Instead of me trying to diet on my own, which I'd done numerous times, I had a support system. And one of the statistics that we know is that by having a coach in your corner, you are 10 times more likely to succeed than trying it on your own. And so that's why these 4 components are so good. And I really want to acknowledge each of the speakers who cover these 4 components. I guess my message today is that we could help anyone. I've helped with Whitney and Dr. Larry and all the people on this call. We have helped hundreds of thousands of people in the last 20 years together. I've seen all kinds of, I got a client who just started, he's on week 2. He said, there's no way I can afford this program. I'm paycheck to paycheck. And I said, let's talk about your, what are you doing? He goes, well, I eat out like 3 times a day. I was like, wow. So eating out 3 times a day, he never cooked any meals at home. His bill was like $400 a week on food, on eating out. And I said, dude, you're going to save money in this program. He's got 125 pounds to lose. He got on the program. He's now eating 1 meal out a day, his lean and green. He goes out for his lean and green, and he has all of his 5 fuelings with OPTAVIA. He's already lost 15 pounds in his first 2 weeks. And he's like, Greg, I'm saving so much money. Thank you. And he loves the fact that this life book that we have, this personal development journey, it's like, so many people know what to do, right? They know it's healthy food. They know it's unhealthy food. They know that healthy habits, but they can't get themselves to do it. But this community and having a coach and having this whole complete system, it makes it so much easier. So I'm excited to say that we're not for everyone. We are for anyone who's ready to take responsibility for their health. If they're ready to take off that victim hat and say, okay, like we just heard from Rosa's client. I mean, what a great taking responsibility. I'm going to take the charge of my will. Denise, everyone who shared had the same thing. Laura, we all said we're taking responsibility for our health. So if you're ready to take responsibility for your health and you want to have a system that actually has a money back guarantee, if you don't like it, you can send it back within 30 days and get your full refund. But what we do is we set you up for success, and it's simple. So how do you get started? First of all, you would connect with whoever invited you, and they're going to do a health assessment. It's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes to find out about your goals, your routines, your lifestyle, and which program is right for you. Because there's 11 different programs depending on your age, your health conditions, your activity level, all those things. So the health assessment will help us give you the right options for plans. We'll share with you how to get started. You place your order, and then it takes about 5 to 7 business days for your supplies to arrive. And in the meantime, we'll start setting you up with like things you can do to get ready, and we'll get you dialed in so that once you start your program, you can be off to the races. It takes about 3 days to get into fat burning, but once you get into fat burn, raise your hand if when you were in fat burn, your hunger went down and your energy went up and you started seeing the scale move and you're like motivated because you see that scale move and you just get motivated. You say, wow, I can do this. This is finally working. And that keeps people motivated. And just like me, hopefully after your first month, you'll say, this is so great. I want to do it. I want to go to month 2 and just maybe you'll end up going to 20 years. But I will tell you this, if you embrace the lifestyle, all 4 components, your chances of success are through the roof. And we're really here for you. The one other thing I want to mention is that some of the people on the call, many of us found it was very natural to pay it forward. People start asking you, you look great. What are you doing? How do I get some of that help? Training opportunity where your coach who's helping you on your health can also be your business coach and teach you how to become a coach and how to support other people. And it's one of the most, like Forbes magazine said here, coaching is one of the smartest, most lucrative career choices in our economy today. It's part of a $4 trillion industry that's growing. And if you want to make a difference and be well paid, this could be the place to be. And I would say we are also kind of the antidote to the sick care industry. Right now, so many people are reliant on the chemicals and drugs, whereas if they take responsibility for their choices, their lifestyle, 75, what, Dr. Larry, you could probably be more accurate, but I'm thinking it's at least 75 to 80% of people who go to the doctor, those things are preventable if they have a healthy lifestyle. I know, for example, heart disease, I think it's 90% preventable. But bottom line is, when you get onto this journey and you have success, people will ask you, you can either refer them to your coach, which is awesome, or you can consider becoming a coach. And if you want to learn more about that, reach out to the person who asked you. And we do have an income disclosure statement. You know, not everyone is gonna, last 20 years, but that's okay. But we are here to support you if you want to explore the possibility of coaching. And I guess the last thing I'll say, Larry, is if you want to explore coaching, it's the same thing. Get with the person who invited you. It's only $199 to get started. We'll be training you every step of the way, and you could be a part of somebody's journey. Can you imagine how good it feels for Dr. Larry to see Rosa paying it forward to her family and then seeing her pay it forward to her clients? And it's just a ripple effect. If you want to do some good work in the world and make sure that you're set up for success for your health and well-being, coaching could be a great thing. So if you're interested in learning about that, get with the person who invited you. Thanks, Larry. Thanks all the speakers for sharing.
Thanks, Greg. I really appreciate you being here and sharing from your heart and letting us really understand that this is bigger than just reaching a number on a scale. This is about becoming the best version of ourselves, and being able to share it and pay it forward is really kind of cool. Tonight's event was for all of us to reinforce our own personal journeys, and it was also to provide this video that we're producing from this event as a tool that we can share with other people. We're going to be hosting these events every 5 to 6 weeks. We actually have our next one scheduled for Thursday night, March 31st at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. So we'd love to have you join us, but not just you. If you can think of someone that could benefit by reaching for better health, please feel free to invite them to our next event. If you can think of someone who just really is feeling like they're lost and they're looking for something that'll provide them with excitement, they're looking for something that'll provide them with meaning and purpose, invite them to our next event. We're here because we know that this is one of the most important things that we could do, which is share the gift of health and hope with anybody who's ready to make a change. So I'm honored to be here. I thank each and every one of you. And I will hang around for a few minutes. And if anybody has any questions, you feel free. You can take yourself off mute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording, and I'll open it up to questions. I'd like to thank each and every one of our presenters. Your stories, your passion were just amazing. And being able to share this with the world, that's really the goal as an OPTAVIA coach. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing, Shanisa, for your story, and each and every one of you. God bless.